Show, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, check out the podcast section.
Stream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show. We are back in studio. Oh, stress level down. Stress level down. Oh, we can actually talk some sports today. Love being out at the Peter J. Mulry Foundation golf tournament yesterday, and boy, do I have some stories from my round with Goose Gossage. Some of them I can actually tell you about on the radio. But good to be back in studio where we can hear everybody, and I promise we won't have well, I shouldn't promise anything when it comes to the world of technology. Sometimes it's our fault, sometimes it's their fault, but who cares? We'll try to keep it clean today. We got a great show for you. Rich Hollenberg's going to join us at 11:30 in advance of Ray's opening day coming up. What, Thursday, right?
Thursday, yeah.
Wow. Thursday. We are starting baseball.
I'm ready to roll. You're
excited.
Yesterday.
You are excited.
In fact, when you signed off yesterday, I even made a little bold prediction.
I heard the end of the show. Yeah. 95 wins.
95. Huh? I'm feeling 95 wins. I'm feeling 95 wins that we're here. I'm throwing everything to the side of what they haven't done this offseason. I'm throwing it aside.
Yeah, all that offseason work they've done. Yeah, 95 seems about right.
We're 2 days away from Sugar Shane.
Absolutely, baby.
And I'm going to be that guy that goes into the Rays store like an hour before the game starts, and I'm loading up.
Right.
I'm going to get my Shane shirt. I'm going to get another new hat.
In a Rays store? You're going in that ultra premium?
Oh, I'm ready.
Ultra retail?
I'm ready.
Rich guy over here. Wow.
I'm ready.
Wow.
I'm setting aside
he's now dual income.
I'm setting aside a Rays fund for this year.
Mm.
I'm going all in on my Rays this year. I encourage you to do the same.
You will never find my ass buying a retail jersey for $275.
In fact, I might be so inspired
in a Rays store. Hell to the no.
I might be so inspired by the fact.
I would be like taking, and I'd have to use cash because then I'd have to like part. It would have to part my hands and like Stu's name on it. And it's like, I couldn't do it. No.
Well, I can do it freely. And I might be inspired by the fact that they're wearing the Devil Rays jerseys on Thursday. I might be so inspired. And I know they're going to have it. You know how they have, like, the mannequins that, model it? Mm-hmm. I bet you they're going to have one of those mannequins.
See that Nath in this line?
They're going to have the Devil Ray thing on it. You shut your mouth. I'm trying to get excited about Rays baseball season.
Won't strike out as much as the guy
it's just enough. I'm gonna get excited seeing the mannequin with the Devil Ray jersey on. They're wearing them. I'm gonna want to be a part of it.
Okay.
Be on the lookout. I might splurge.
Wow. Have I taught you nothing? My God, you can get it so much cheaper so many other places. Okay. You go pay that ultra retail. Stu will be sitting there at the shop just like, thank you for your purchase.
But when it comes to food, though.
Wait till I get $1 billion from Ken Welch. You think this is shopping? Wait till that's going to be even better.
I'll be cheap when it comes to food.
Nobody's going to come to.
Woo! I'll be cheap when it comes to food. See, that's the difference between me and you.
Okay, you cheap out on the food.
Okay, I'll go buy the merch and cheap out on the food.
Yeah.
You'll skip the merch and you'll go expensive on the food.
Like
I don't care. Like I don't care about the new menu.
Probably beer.
Like I don't care about the menu options. I just want. I'm old school. Hot dog and peanuts.
Yeah.
And maybe the 6th inning you go down and get a Dippin' Dot.
Yeah.
Or a Carvel.
Yeah, I'm not. the food is nice. I mean, but I'm not going there for the food. That's for
like
sure.
I see people all the time with like these
get
like
free food poisoning.
They
with
got
that.
like these like brisket grilled cheeses and everything.
That looks good.
I'm sorry, that's just too much for a baseball game. A little too messy. What if a ball's coming towards me? My hands need to be ready to go and free. You know?
Plus, if it drops, if you get your beer and your brisket, that's like a $60 foul ball right there.
Exactly.
And you probably don't even come up with the ball because you're too busy, getting brisket sauce in the eye.
Exactly. A hot dog is quick. It's 3 bites and you're out.
A bite scenario. You do 3 bite a hot dog?
You 3 or 4 bite a hot dog and you're out.
You can 3 bite a hot dog?
I can 3 bite a hot dog, yeah.
I used to be able to put an entire quarter pounder in my mouth and eat it with 1 bite, but that's those days are long gone. Yeah. That could cause a lot of different problems these days. Yeah, that was the stupid human trick I could do. 3 bites for a hot dog? First of all, don't you want to savor it? Savor that nitrate
not at a ball
popsicle?
game, no.
No?
No, not at a ball game. I never want to be really I don't want to have anything in my hands during a ball game. Okay. So I want to get it done and get out.
Right. Do you buy tickets to strategically be in foul ball positions?
No, I'm not one of those people, but I always want to be prepared in the event. But I am kind of.
Have you ever caught one?
When I was really younger, I was in a suite, and one came into our suite, and everybody dodged out of the way. And me being the kid, went towards it. And I almost got hit.
Right.
But I got the ball, though.
Oh.
And it was – do you remember Greg Norton?
Yeah, of course.
Greg
Tigers,
Norton
right?
is the one – I remember it. Greg Norton is the one who hit the foul ball.
How about that?
Into the
That's
suite.
a magical moment.
So thank you, Greg.
That's a magical moment for any kid, that first foul ball.
Yeah.
But
that's the only ball I think has ever come towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you used to be able to go to batting practice,
yeah.
We used to go to the Yankee games all the time, and because you wanted to watch A-Rod, Jeter, Teixeira hit home runs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was in left field, and A-Rod hit one, and it was coming towards me, and I had my glove and everything, and that ball was that thing had to have been coming at me at like 115. And I was probably like 10 years old, and I wimped out. I got out of the way.
You got out of the way.
It was coming right at me. I had a glove and everything.
You had a glove, too?
And I wimped out. I saw that ball coming so fast off A-Rod's bat, and I wimped out.
That was your moment.
That was my moment to shine. But
you could have caught one out. Right off the bat of a Hall of Famer.
Of a Hall of Famer, yeah.
Maybe.
Wimped out.
Wow.
You don't understand. Have you ever had a ball like that coming at you, like a home run?
No, I told you this. Not a home run, but it was spring training. Ben Grieve was up, lefty, for the Rays over at Al Lang, and there's a right field berm, right, where there was a right field berm where you could sit, beautiful, just like lay out a little. So I'm there with I think Cullen was probably 2 years old, maybe 1 or 2 years old, and I was sitting between. Cullen was on my left, so he was between me and the batter, which was in hindsight not the best situation. So, but I was paying attention. And I swear to you, I had a premonition. That he was going to hit a line drive right at us. I don't know why. The good Lord sent me a little note like, hey, stop eating that hot dog. Pay attention. And Ben Grieve absolutely just murdered one. Turned on it, and it was coming right at us. And everything slowed down. And I looked down at my son, and I looked at the ball, and I was like, oh, my God, this might hit him in the head and kill him. And I literally, I'm not making this up, I dove across in front of him. Ooh. And the ball hit me in the chest, went through my hands. It was hit so hard, went through my hands. I was trying to catch it. Through my hands and hit me in the chest. And my son was like right under, like in the area because I was jumping over him. And I waited for that, that delayed moment where the kid starts crying? It's like the pregnant pause. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. That's that moment. And you're waiting to hear this. And it was like, and I was like, you okay? He's like, okay, Dad. I think he thought I was playing roughhouse with him, and I was like, oh my God, thank God. So, and it's funny because I didn't even feel the ball hit me. Like there was no pain because it was all panic. It was just adrenaline panic. Did not feel. Had a big, huge bruise right here. Never felt the ball hit me at all. I was just so terrified, and it didn't hit it.
Well, now you got a cool story to tell, too.
Yeah, it was good. And I still have that ball. And
at least there's some stories you can tell today on the show.
Yep. I got so many good stories for the show today.
It's some that won't be heard on this show.
There are 2 stories I cannot tell. I haven't told you the other one yesterday. So yesterday, I'm playing with Goose Gossage, and then can I tell you, this was one of the funnest days of my life. And his friend Ryan McDonald, who's just a great dude, we were playing as a threesome at the tournament. And Goose, from the very beginning, he's trying to feel me out, remember the media, blah, blah, blah. But we start talking, and then by like hole 3 or 4, we're all just having a blast. And he's telling stories, and it's F this, F that. When you picture what you think Goose Gossage is, he is a dude's dude. He is a man's man. Every other word not every other word. Well, we're out there playing golf, and you've been hit a bad shot. There we're laughing and just like, you freaking suck. And I'm like, I can't say that to Goose. But by hole 7, I'm like, you can't make that effing putt. And we're going back and forth, and we just had a ball yesterday. It was so much fun. And, unfortunately, most of the stories that he told, I can't really tell. There was one that was just, I think I laughed for like 10 minutes. I never stopped laughing. I can't tell you that one either. It was about a joke that Stan Williams, his pitching coach, told him. It was back in like 77 or something, 78. And he's on the mound, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Place is going nuts, and he goes, and I effing load the bases myself. I'm pissing, I'm snorting, I'm kicking the dirt, and all these guys know you put me out there, I'm either winning the game or I'm coming back in the dugout as a loser. Don't bother walking to the effing mound. Don't freaking even think about it. So I'm snorting and I'm kicking, and he goes, I turn around and there's Stan Williams standing right there. He goes, these big country, 6'4", 6'5". He had forearms down to his knees, just one of those big guys that's just country strong. And I look at him, I go, what the F are you doing here, Stan? And Stan says, calm down, all right? He goes, and then he tells a very, very joke that I cannot repeat here. Just like you saw in, oh God, what was the movie? Bull Durham. The guy comes out. He's not going to tell you anything about pitching. He's just going to try to take your mind off it, and like stop thinking so much, you dumbass. Just throw the damn ball. You're good enough. Just let it rip. So he told a joke that I cannot repeat. That was so funny. And I'm like, yeah, those stories really exist. Those things really happen in Major League Baseball. Like the Johnny Damon story the other day when they were down 3-0 to the Yankees when he was with the Red Sox. And Millar comes into the clubhouse with a bottle of Jack Daniels. It's like pouring shots for everybody. Let's go. Let's take the edge off. And let's just get going. We're thinking too much. We're gripping the bat too much. And then they rip off 4 in a row and go win the World Series. Goose was like, yeah, back in the day, that was not out of the norm. He goes, we all had to kind of take the edge off a little bit. That's the way we played. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to. But yeah, if you don't think guys were doing stuff like that in the 70s and 80s, you're out of your mind. I mean,
Gooden and Strawberry and everybody in the Mets have admitted they were doing blow back there.
The blow and what's going on in the bullpen. Guys are drinking. I mean, it's a throwback game, and that's the way they used to play the game because there was so much pressure. Guys needed a little something to take off the edge. And, they did a lot of different things back in the day. What was it? Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter on mushrooms.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, true story.
I'm sure.
You walk like 11 guys, but he pitched a no-hitter.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like all these like really out there guys from like the 80, 90. Like I can't imagine what like Lenny Dykstra or something like some guy like that was doing.
Oh, whatever you can imagine, they were doing it.
Yeah.
No. And women in the clubhouse. I mean,
I wonder how much these reporters, honestly, that were like so close to all this stuff, are just hiding right now.
Oh well, they were
like someone needs to write a book on all these stories.
Even when I got in the business, there was a certain level of, you don't report everything you see. If it's not germane to football, basketball, baseball, and there's a lot of stuff I know about personal lives of players and coaches that I would never, ever, ever. Even on my deathbed, divulge. Never. Because they'll never talk to you again, And, it's just morally and ethically not very good or smart to do. So, no, it was a different time. And, I'm not so sure it wasn't a better time. Of course, we old heads are always going to say that. Oh, back in the old days, it was so good. But I think we could definitely agree that that's true these days anyway. But, Jeremy Lowe says, my first home run ball was Matt Joyce back in 2013 against the Royals, and he signed it. Yeah, man, there are few things in life better than catching a home run or a foul ball at a baseball game. I mean, it's up there. It is up there, no doubt. I caught a home run ball before. I missed one, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. We were literally sitting in the upper deck in the beach, right? And God, I forget who it was, but we were sitting and we were talking about this. There's like 5 or 6 of us like, yeah, we'll never get a ball up here. We literally left in the 8th inning, and in the next half inning, I forget who it was, hit a bomb up there right in the seats we were sitting at. I was so pissed off with myself for leaving early. Like, you stupid son of a bitch. But, yeah, that's it. And we're going to talk, like, the Rays, the Times came out with there's a new book coming out about the history of the Rays. And, by the way, a new documentary, which I got a director's cut link to. It's coming out on Thursday. I'm going to watch it tonight, and I'll report back to you guys tomorrow. It's been partially done by my old producer at News Channel 8, Dave Cook, and it's phenomenal. And it goes into, why they built the stadium here, why it was so hard to get the Rays an expansion team here, because they built the stadium in St. Petersburg. They never wanted them to do that, and we're still dealing with that issue today, unfortunately. So it's really, really good. 25 years of Rays baseball. So I'm looking forward to watching that. And we're going to talk a little bit about the top moments that have been compiled, and that'll be another story I can't share probably. You said I can't share.
You absolutely cannot share it.
Okay.
Okay. It ain't happening.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, we've already excited
I gave you the goose. I wish I could give you the whole thing, but
it's a great story.
Come ask me. By the way, if you see me in public, come ask me about the Goose Gotcha story. I'll be happy to tell you about it in person.
Would you tell anybody else the story, like in person, if you saw them?
The other story?
Yeah.
It's about Longo 162.
Okay, so if somebody sees you and they say, hey, can you tell me about the Longo 162?
Nah, probably.
You probably
not.
won't.
No, that's a very personal story.
There you go.
It's a very personal story, so I'll have to keep.
I don't know if I'm lucky to have.
If you're a good friend of mine and you're listening, then yeah, maybe there's a chance. Yeah, depending on who you are and who you know, and who you might tell it to. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's the thing about covering. Having covered Tampa Bay sports as long as I have. 27 years, I think it's going on now. I mean, there's some of the greatest moments in sports that I've witnessed, but the way that I've witnessed them might surprise you. Many of these things, like for instance, the Marty St. Louis goal in Calgary. We had to do a live shot that night, and we were in the second overtime? Yeah, in Calgary. And so me and my partner Bob Hansen had to start walking down to our live shot location. And so we're walking through the concourse at the Saddle Dome, and play is going on, and I look up at the monitor, and it looks like there's the Lightning were starting to pressure. So I said, so let me duck out. So I duck out into one of the little hallways where you can see the ice, one of the entryways to the seats. So I just kind of ducked into one real quick, and within that moment, within the next 3 seconds, Marty scored. And had I not done that, I would have seen it on TV like everybody else. But I was in the middle of the crowd too, and you could just hear this audible gasp of and then you hear the light goes on, and then you hear the sound that that it makes when the other team scores, like at a Lightning game, whatever it is, and then just intermittent swearing and F-bombs here and there, and then this little section of cheering going on the bench, and the Lightning players all coming out, and it's really a surreal experience in so many ways. The Rondé Barber's touchdown, we were headed down to the sidelines to do interviews and stand-ups and all that, get into the locker room. So we got down, or I think it was just myself or some of we were standing out in the tunnel or waiting to go onto the field when it happened, and then you end up watching it on the big screen because of the side. You see, I saw the interception right in front of me, and then he's off to the races, and is anybody gonna catch him? You're looking up at the big board. So a lot of these famous moments, I wasn't necessarily just sitting in the press box, looking at the player, what was going on, because you're constantly moving around and having to do things for your responsibilities. So, yeah, a lot of these big moments, I was very fortunate to see them with my own eyes. But for the Rays, all of these top 25 moments, I've either been in the building or covered them.
I know, and I've enjoyed the Times coverage this week of capturing the importance of this 25th season.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I think John Romano wrote another article, which I thought was fascinating, of all the expansion franchises in the history of Major League Baseball. I think of the 16, right? Because there's 14 originals and then 16.
Mm-hmm.
I was just fascinated looking at it. The Rays in the first 25 seasons have outperformed nearly every expansion franchise going back to 1961, the 16 other ones. I mean, we take for granted almost what the Rays have done when you look at what they've done in 25 years.
But the Marlins have won 2 World Series.
Yeah, the Marlins have the 2 World Series. The Diamondbacks have one. The Royals are the only team that has more playoff appearances than the Rays do in their first 25 years of existence. I thought was fascinating. And the teams I'm talking about, it's like the Mets are on there. Like we just said, the Royals, Marlins are on there. Like, obviously, the Mariners are on there, the Diamondbacks. Like, all these teams that have come into the league since 1961. And the Rays have the second most playoff appearances in their first 25 years.
It's impressive. Now, the playoffs have expanded. Like last year's playoff appearance, which, by the way, there's a banner up there.
Is there a banner?
There's a banner that's covered up. And people are wondering, are we going to celebrate playoffs last year?
I'd like to move on from that.
Or is it going to be a 25th anniversary banner?
I hope it's just a 25th anniversary.
How do you fans feel about celebrating last year's playoff appearance?
Well, they always put like one where it says like, we went to the wild card. Like they've always done that historically.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of the situation of how it went down. I don't want to even see it.
Yeah.
I think that's what's hard for me to like. Those were a dark 2 days of watching baseball.
If I'm not mistaken, they got the last seed, right? They were the 7th team in, right?
Yeah, because they were facing then Cleveland.
Right, they were the 7th team in. So the creation of the extra playoff spot.
Yeah, playoff is a playoff.
Allowed them to get in, correct? Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's the biggest problem I have with it. You make the wild card in the other years.
Well, then you might as well take away. Well, then you might as well take away half your playoff appearances because remember it used to be 5 and then it went to 6.
Then the extenuating circumstance is, all right, it's not a level playing field. No salary cap, right? No salary floor, none of that stuff. So it's not a level playing field.
No, I'm just pointing out
Never,
though.
and has been an unbalanced schedule until now.
Yeah.
So everything has gone against the Rays in terms of being in the AL East. So in that way, I'm like, anytime you get close to the playoffs, you should probably celebrate it.
It's still impressive.
Yeah.
Like
it's still impressive.
Since 2008, only the Yankees have won more games than the Rays.
Yeah. That's
very impressive.
Yeah. And we have the narrative now, and we talk about it often because John Smoltz came on the show and said, Fred McGriff said it. A lot of these, these older players and analysts will say this, that the Rays have kind of mastered the regular season. They figured out how to win games in the regular season on a low budget, but to be able to win a World Series, everything is going to have to go absolutely perfect for them. Even to get to a World Series, you got to have Randy Arozarena, have an out-of-body experience in the postseason to get you to the World Series. And moments like Brocious against Brasso against Chapman, those moments are just to me which is a very underrated moment, by the way, in Rays history. I don't understand why that's not in the top 10. Because it was against the Yankees, he gets hit by Chapman, comes back, in the moment, and this minimum salary little dude stands in there against Mr. 104, whatever hell he's throwing, and gets brushed back and knocked down, and then stands back in the box and knocks one out of the park.
To knock the Yankees out of the playoffs.
To knock the Yankees out of the playoffs. I mean, how is that not a Dan Johnson moment?
That's in the top 5, I think.
But I don't see it a lot in these lists. Is it?
I feel like I've seen a lot of fans chiming in on like the top 5 moments, and I think consensus there's 2 that sit above the rest, and that's 162 and the Brett Phillips one. You throw the Dan Johnson one in there, you throw Brasso in there. I mean, that's what come to mind, and then probably the Kiermaier relay. Mm-hmm. To me, that's the 5.
Yeah.
Put them in whatever order you want.
Yeah. A lot of people love the Aki moment. See, the Aki moment to me, I mean, the play itself, it's a ground ball to second base, step on the back. It's not a great play. It's a culmination.
Yeah, it's like the Longo when he caught the foul ball to clinch the playoffs.
Yeah, so
same thing.
Yeah, so me, it's like I have a hard time making it a great moment when it's a routine play, even though it sends you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like to me, if it's going to be the best of the best, it has to have a little bit more. And Brett Phillips won a World Series game. How many World Series games have we won? Three or four?
Yeah.
Total. I mean, and in that moment. The way that happened and the stumble home and I mean it's just
and I'm so sad. I'm so sad that I can't think of that moment as fondly as everyone else.
Because you fell asleep.
I fell asleep that night.
Oh my God!
I was in college, and you see, we were doing there was other things going on than just sitting in my.
Not many college kids were sitting there watching.
I was not just sitting there watching my baseball game. I might have been elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And we got back, and I was just super out of it, and I fell asleep. And I woke up at 3 in the morning.
Passed out, is what you're saying.
I woke up at 3 in the morning.
Too many Miller Lights.
Too many Miller Lights.
Yeah.
Woke up at 3 in the morning and went on my phone, and I just like popped up, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? I missed this."
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "This is the greatest moment in the Rays history," and I'm like, "I missed this."
Yeah.
The Rays superfan fell asleep for the Brett Phillips moment. So I unfortunately can't think as fondly as that one as everyone else.
All right. Well, don't be so selfish. It is what it is. All right. So we'll get a little bit more into that. Rich Hollenberg's going to join us at 11:30. By the way, we'll get his top 25 or top moments in Rays history, and you guys chime in as well if you'd like to on our YouTube channel, on Twitter, on Facebook. Just chime in. We'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite moments in Rays history? And it can be, personal stuff too. It doesn't have to be this crazy moment. You went to a game and, you got an autograph or got a ball or home run ball or a moment. You're Mike Hogan and you caught Wade Boggs' 3,000th hit in the stands and were nice enough to give it back to him for nothing, basically. Not for nothing. He got a bunch of stuff, but it's the right thing to do. The right thing to do. I would have asked for a little bit more money, but that's just me. There's so many great moments. So you guys let me know. Big game, James Shields retiring a Ray.
Yeah, and he's going to be throwing out the first pitch on Thursday.
Oh, nice. Great dude, man. That guy was he was a gritty sonbitch.
It's almost like David Price was more talented.
Right.
But he had the nickname for a reason.
Yeah.
That's the guy you want to give the ball.
Yeah.
To me, it's like if you go back to the Diamondbacks when they had Schilling and Johnson.
Yeah.
It's like Randy Johnson was the better pitcher, but in the big game you wanted Schilling.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the Rays, with Price and Shields.
Yeah, Goose was talking about that yesterday, and and playing in big games, and he said it just you just have to. It's a competitive mentality, and I'm paraphrasing it here. Trust me, I'm paraphrasing what he said. You just have to effing want it. You have to effing want it so bad that not so bad that it affects you're so tense and you can't play, but that just the adrenaline takes you to there are some players that in the moment the adrenaline overwhelms them, right? And there are other people that the adrenaline becomes a superpower almost, right? It's a superpower. Mom could lift a car to get her child free, right? And I think for players, there's that rush, being in the zone, they call it the adrenaline rush that makes everything slow down and makes you become more focused and uber focused. And so that – but some guys go the other way. That's why some guys are big in big moments. Patrick Mahomes, pulse is probably still at 65 when it's, 4th and 14. He don't care. He cares, but that's the way he plays. And those are the greats. And that's the mental part of Jack Nicklaus. You're not, your knees aren't knocking over a 20-footer to win the Masters. You're as calm and dialed in and locked in as you could possibly be, and you just know you're going to make that putt. Like yesterday when I told Goose, I know that get out of the way. You can't make the putt. Let me make the putt, because we were having to rotate the fourth player in a scramble, and I said, no, this is my time, and I stepped up there and I rolled it in. Now the other 3 times I missed it, but that's okay. That's how those guys play. Gonzo was my favorite. Garza was my favorite. Jeremy Lowe says.
Yeah, we don't talk about his moment much. I mean, he is the only no-hitter in Rays history. And that one seems to go just completely, under the radar.
I had this great shadow box of that's one of these companies gave it to me to promote it. They were selling these shadow boxes for Matt Garza. It was beautiful. The ball was signed and everything. And, I was moving, getting rid of some stuff. And I had 2 of them, so I was going to sell one of them. Nobody wanted it. I couldn't get $100 for that thing. Like Matt Garza's no-hitter, the only one in Rays history. Nobody wants it?
Nobody wanted it?
No. No, it's just shadow box. I had it up on eBay. Not much.
Yeah.
So I just kept it.
I don't know. It's a forgotten moment, and he's a forgotten player for whatever reason with Rays.
That's kind of crazy. Lonnie Wilkins says, just left Wrigley Field last night for our preseason employee party. Wow, okay. Seeing the bunting and banners up. I got baseball fever, boys. Happy opening week. Going to the Trop on Sunday. Wasn't it snowing in Chicago yesterday?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah. I went to a Cubs game last year with my son. It was snowing.
That was miserable, wasn't it? I remember.
It wasn't miserable because it was Wrigley Field, and it was with my son, and it was a Cubs-Reds game.
Absolutely.
It was cold as hell.
It looked miserable.
It was
cold
sleeting.
as hell.
It was sleeting, and I was the happiest guy in the world. It was fantastic. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, it was a little cold, but so what? Had my coat on, had my beer in my hand with my gloves. Snow's coming down. I'm at Wrigley Field watching the Cubs with my son.
I take it back.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and you were in the batting cage hitting ground balls.
It's in the bat, just ripping them off the.
No, you were rolling them over.
The top.
No, you were rolling them over.
Hitting them over the left field wall in the ivy.
No,
it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit of baseball.
The way he just described that right there, I'm just like, opening day is one of the few events that's just perfect. It's day baseball. It's all over the place. It's on ESPN. It's on Fox. It's on MLB Network. It's all day. It starts with, like, those day games. It's just a nice setting, full ballpark, those little, like, pennants that are, like, red, white, and blue or whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
bunting. Bunting.
Yeah, the buntings.
Yep.
Which I think I love those things, by the way.
It just reeks of Americana and baseball.
It says the opening day paint that's on the field. Yeah. The field always looks so pristine. We introduce the players. Like, opening day is
Tropicana
perfect.
Plastic grass.
Shut your mouth.
The smell of the plastic grass. Oh, smell it. Smells like chlorine, honey. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Parking's a nightmare. Can't get anything at a concession stand. Yeah. It's a Trop. It's beautiful. Yeah. Nah, when it's full, it's fun. When it's full, it's fun.
You're just ruining my joy. You're joy.
When you go to Wrigley Field,
killer.
When you go to Wrigley Field now, smell the fresh cut grass, hear the pop of the leather because it makes a different sound outside than it does in a mausoleum. By the way. So you don't want me to go with you Thursday? Is that what you're saying? And to stay as far away as possible. Yeah, and it's just, it's magical. It is magical, Lonnie. I agree with you. I can't wait to go. I'm going to this year. And he said, somebody just said, you got to, Jeremy. You got to go to the Rays, the Cubs series. You should come with me.
I was going to say, I was just about to put that out there. I was looking at the schedule. Don't they play every team now?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Let's go, and we'll go with my son, and we'll have a ball.
I would like to see. See, here's my problem.
You're going to go to Wrigley Field, and you're going to go.
Here's my problem. I've only seen a major league game. I've only seen a major league game inside because I've only been to the Trop and I've been to Miami.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
So all this stuff you're talking about, I can't relate.
It's totally different.
I can only relate to how I feel at spring training when I'm outside.
Which is amazing.
Is it?
It's spring training? You don't think outside baseball? No?
Sweat my ass off all that. That's the only thing I can think of as spring training. But I want to see it in a major league setting, though.
Lonnie says, I love the Trop at Wrigley is one of a kind, though. I agree with the second half of that. We have a new commenter, Trop Top 24. Love the idea of the monthly pass, but standing room only. Don't they have 10,000 empty upper deck seats that they haven't been using the regular season? Yes, AJ. They do.
You can just go move to those seats.
Yeah, I know. They closed the top. You can't even get up there, right?
Oh, he's talking about the tops, right?
Yeah. If you want to sit down. It's not a bad seat up there.
I like it
it's
up
really
there.
Not.
I mean, when the playoff games come, I'll sit up there.
Yeah, it's not a bad seat. It's because it's intimate. If it's not raining and the roof leaking on your head.
I was just looking, by the way, just because we're on that subject of all these stadiums. This is cool. So, like, they play in San Francisco.
Oh.
That would be beautiful.
Been to Pac Bell? I don't even know what they call it, AT&T, whatever the hell they call it.
That would be very nice.
Great
stadium.
Stadium.
They play in San Diego as well.
Oh, Petco Park. I've been there many times. That is a great stadium.
Obviously, you got Wrigley.
I
mean, Citi Field's not seen as much, but it is what it is, right?
It's New York, baby.
It's New York. There you go. Washington's another good one. There's a lot of nice stadiums. There's going to be Arizona, if you like that. Seattle. I mean, I think that's cool.
Seattle, I haven't been to. No, I did go to Safeco.
That's cool that it kind of opens up the schedule now.
That's
you can go
a
to these
beautiful
different places.
ballpark too.
Yeah.
Yes, Houston is a great place to go for a ballpark. Terrible city.
That's my goal this year. Like if they play like Atlanta or something,
Atlanta
like on the road, or
do they have the Braves on the road?
They got the Braves at home this year.
Oh, so then I definitely would have gone up. That's Truist Park. That's another great outdoor.
That's my
field.
goal this year. I'm gonna pick an away game and try to go on like a little mini trip.
It's a no-brainer.
I want to go on a mini trip because that's still and the Cubs seems like a good one to go to.
It's Cubs, yeah.
And you get the daytime.
Because unfortunately, God.
And 2 of those games are daytime.
You know what sucks so bad? It's like 10 years ago, you could say, "Oh man, yeah, let's go to San Francisco. What a great city." And let's go to Chicago. Well, Wrigley Field's okay because it's on the north side, and all the other shenanigans are mostly happening on the south side. So actually, Wrigley Field is Chicago, but New York. I used to love to go to New York. That's awful.
I don't have interest
New Orleans,
in Yankee
awful.
Stadium.
All
I don't
these
have
big
interest
cities.
in Yankee Stadium.
You don't want to go to Yankee Stadium?
No, I would have loved to have gone to the old Yankee Stadium.
Old one, yeah. The new one's
the
kinda
new one
cookie
to me.
cutter.
The new one to
Yeah.
me lacks character, and it
It's
sums up
cookie
everything
cutter.
the Yankees have become.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. There's no history there.
Yeah.
I mean, Fenway's always been like my top tier. Like, if I can make it to Fenway, I got to make it to Fenway.
You got to go to Fenway. The whole experience, the it's just that's amazing. Yeah,
Maybe,
there's some great places to go, man. Great places to go.
Maybe just for fun, I'll take a trip to the Coliseum this year.
To where?
To the Coliseum.
In L.A.?
No, in Oakland.
Oh, that Coliseum? That mausoleum? Oh my!
I know
God.
you throw the word mausoleum around. You might as well describe that as the
That's
Coliseum.
awful. That place.
If the Trop is
awful.
a mausoleum, what's Oakland?
I was almost killed in that place.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, in the black hole. The black hole almost killed me. I was doing a live shot for Channel 8 at a Raiders Bucks. It was a preseason game. Might have been a regular season game. I'm not sure, but the producer thought it would be a great idea to do the live shot from the field right there in the black hole.
No.
Yeah, wearing Buck stuff.
No.
Not a great idea. Not a great idea. So yeah, that place is a shy hole. Oh my God, it is so bad. I can't believe they're still playing games there, professional games there. That is amazing. That had to be 15 years ago when I was there, maybe 20. Yeah. Did you see that?
What, this photo here?
The Tom Brady beach party, frolicking on the beach with his friends Gronk and Edelman.
How about Gronk? He's got it all hanging out back here.
Yeah.
No, it's Brady, Gronk, Edelman. I haven't identified who this is. And then Blaine Gabbert is here too. He loves himself some Blaine Gabbert, doesn't he?
He does. He and Blaine
They're
really
buddies.
bonded.
Look at him.
Yeah.
And look at the way Blaine looks, by the way. Blaine is like 15 years younger than Tom. And look at no offense, but some of the baby fat that's still hanging on Blaine. And look at this guy. Cut.
It's Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady.
He's Mr.
Look at Blaine.
TB12 method.
Look at Blaine. That is your typical Thanksgiving quarterback in the backyard. That's Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
And look at this guy.
And who's playing for now?
He's a free agent, no?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Get a beach body, man. You can get a job. And when's Brady coming back?
He is back. He's the owner of the Las Vegas Aces. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Is that his new yacht out there, too? He's got his yacht in the. They did a shoot for Brady.
Everybody's already trying to figure out where is this at.
Brady brand swimsuits. They did their photo shoot for that. So they all had to have their beach bodies out there.
Tom needs to stop doing the photo shoots with his Brady underwear. We need to retire those. Remember when we saw that photo last year?
Oh, the completely planned and well lit.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Giselle just found him in the bathroom by chance and was going to take a video.
We couldn't see it last year, but that was the moment the Bucs were doomed.
It was.
We couldn't see it, but that was the
moment.
moment.
No, I think we may have said that. It's over.
It was over. But he also did the one where he did the selfie in the mirror because he said he did the thing where, like, if it gets as many retweets, I'll do this.
Yeah.
That was when they were doomed.
He's gone full scale middle school Instagram girl.
We were doomed. But he looks like he's having a good time here.
Yeah,
I mean, look at this.
Him.
Look at this. And look at Gronk with the goggles and everything.
Oh. He's just like a little kid.
He got a little boogie board right here.
Yeah, what is that thing? No, that's one of those, like, Sea-Doo things.
I'm underselling it heavily by saying boogie board.
Yeah, it's probably some,
This thing has a little motor in it.
$25,000 motorized
This thing has a little motor in it,
scooter.
and it's just taking them all over the water.
Gronk's butt's hanging out. Like, the girls will love that. He's got his tan lines working.
I gave it a retweet this morning.
There you go. Well, that'll get some action, no doubt. All right. Well, we just went through 30 minutes of doing absolutely no sports whatsoever. No,
we talked about the Rays.
We did.
We'll go more in depth. We'll go more.
All right, well, let's take a break. We got Rich Hollenberg coming up at 11:30. Brian Bradley's going to join us at 11:15. So we'll dig deep into the Bolts and the Rays. Todd Bowles is speaking at the owners' meeting today, and that is scheduled to happen, I think, 10 o'clock Eastern time, maybe. They're out in Phoenix, so if he says something pertinent or interesting, we will chat about that as well. So lots coming your way here on today's JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you've been in an accident or your car's been totaled, you did not get what you think you should, well, give them a call. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, contact them through the website. We'll be back in 3. Stay with us. Guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. You don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat
and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. TrueBody offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on TrueBody and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you're looking for some testosterone replacement therapy, that's something we definitely could use, a lot of us, and we'll get Chris Lugo on this week, and he'll chat with you about that. It's probably a good time to get a testosterone replacement update for many of you. If you're feeling like you're just not your young, vivacious self, boy, this hit me in my early 40s, man, and it was pronounced. And once you get the testosterone going and get your levels back up where they should be, it's a complete game changer. And if you're thinking that you're healthy and all these other things, and there may be a few things that are going on with you, well, it gets bad really, really quick. So be proactive. Go get your numbers. Find out what your testosterone numbers are, and then as Chris always says, what is measured can be managed. So get your data. Find out what's going on with your body. It's where I wear this bracelet right here. It gives you biofeedback as to your sleeping. At first, I was very skeptical about it, but now it definitely does help you manage a lot of your health issues. So go to BAMMC.com. They've got some great weight loss things going on. We talked about TrueBody, which is the machine they have there that you can get hooked up to, and it stimulates your muscles, simulating workouts and crunches, and get you those Tom Brady abs without even working out, without even doing TB12. Circumvent the whole deal. So there you go. BAMMC.com is the place to go on that. As much as we talked about the Rays, we haven't really talked about this team that we're going to see on Thursday, and with the mannequin hitting eighth. It's just, again, baseball season is here. I'm excited, but it's how exciting is it? It's the same freaking lineup, and if they come out and they're boring, and they're not hitting, and it's the worst case scenario that these guys aren't rebounding the way that we hope that they would, even if the pitching is good, I can't go through another year of what we saw last year. Well, last year was such boring baseball.
But let's be honest, though. Why did they go through the slump they did last year during the regular season?
Okay, Wander got hurt, number one. Wander played half the season, and even when he played, he wasn't that great, TBH, right?
Outside of the first month.
Yeah, outside of the first month. Brandon Lau got hurt, and he's just – it's such a big part of no big bopping. Arozarena was a complete freaking roller coaster. When he was up, that was fun, but that was rare. It was rare. It was just like a flash for about 2 weeks, and then he was in the dumps for another month. And it's just there was no consistency to the offense at all. And pitching is great, and they won some games, but it just was boring. It was a boring product last year.
You hit the nail on the head there by bringing up the injuries. I mean, This is, again, a team at one point last year that had 17 guys on the injured list, a lot of them coming from the lineup. I mean, he was really good for a stretch last year, but for a good month or so, the only guy that you could really count on that lineup was Harold Ramirez.
Right.
Seriously. I mean,
and he's not a bopper.
Yeah, and I don't even know if Harold – I don't know what his situation is going to be this year with playing time, to be honest with you. But the point is, I mean, they had to turn to Roman Quinn. They had to turn to Yu Chang.
The mighty Quinn.
Who got hot for a minute.
Listen to the people you're talking about.
They had to turn to Luke Raley. But my point is, I mean, they were forced to do that because they weren't a healthy ball club. They were forced to do that, and that's why you saw an offense that went from second in runs the year before, right, when they were healthy, just trailing the Astros.
Right.
That fell all the way to 21st in runs and had a 200-run drop-off, which is most hard to do. And what has to go wrong? That's called health.
Yeah.
Now, and also, too, mismanagement of what you had. They thought Brett Phillips could be an everyday player. We learned immediately that love Brett Phillips, but he's not an everyday player.
No.
He was killing you in the lineup. Kiermaier was Kiermaier. You know what you're going to get there.
Not much offensively.
Not production there. Zanino got hurt as well. And that's 30. You had a combined Brandon Lau and Mike Zanino, who barely played last year. You had about 80 home runs almost from the year prior that were out of your lineup.
Yeah.
That's hard to. It's hard for any team to make up, especially the Rays. It just was, and the fact that they leaked into the postseason, right? And what happened. But assuming you have the full health this year, you're still putting out Yandy, Randy, Brandon Lau, Franco, Paredes, and then whatever else you can get from there. I think that's still a pretty good lineup. And Paredes, I keep telling you, I think he's going to hit 30 home runs. He hit 20 last year in limited playing time. And it was the first time he's really shown anything in the big leagues. So you get another year of Isak Paredes that can turn into something.
But those things often don't turn into anything. Especially young guys come up, the league gets the tape on them. You know, they study it all spring, all off season. Now they know how to pitch. You know where the holes in his swing are, and he's going to have to adjust. Can he adjust? We'll see. But I think when we see young players and they're starting to ascend, and we automatically, which is what this particular organization is counting on this year, young players continuing to ascend, that's not a given. It's, in fact, I would say more times than not, they regress because the league gets more at-bats on them, get more video on them, find the holes in the swing, and it's tough to adjust in this league because these pitchers are so freaking good and their control is so good. The velocity is so high. If you can't hit an inside high fastball, you're going to get nothing but inside high fastballs until you learn how to hit it and make an adjustment. And if you can't, that's why baseball is so effing hard. It's so freaking hard to be consistently good at it, or year after year after year. You know, Fred McGriff. It's just it's brutal. And so that's why this strategy of assuming that younger players are going to continue to ascend is not a great strategy, to be quite honest.
I have mixed emotions about it. Because of where the Rays are and the fact that they've made 4 consecutive postseason appearances, we keep talking about, okay, that's cool, but now let's get to the next level. You were there in 2020. You've started to, you
dismantled your team.
You've started to drop off a little bit. How do we get back to the levels that we had 3 years ago? And giving young guys the chance when there's so much room for error there, I think that's the kind of the trouble. So, Jonathan Aranda, he didn't even make the ball club. I think he's in AAA to start the season. I don't know Vidal Brujan.
One of their better hitters.
I don't know about Vidal Brujan's situation, but he hasn't been able to really show much, honestly, in the big leagues. I don't know what his trade value is either. I feel like that's probably tanked a little bit because of it. Josh Lowe, I know that's what the Rays think.
Huge question mark.
It's so true. Josh Lowe has to play. Like, they thought that last year he was a top 5 prospect in baseball. That's how they feel. I'm fine that they feel that way, but that's a lot of pressure to put on Josh Lowe.
That he didn't handle last year.
And he had to replace a guy who had just driven in. And I know Austin Meadows is not without his flaws. I'll never tell you that he's the perfect baseball player.
Right.
But he did drive in 106 runs. That's a lot to try to replace.
Yep.
And now this year.
I think I mentioned that last year.
You did. Now this year, though, he's adjusted his swing because we saw he was overwhelmed by major league pitching and fastball specifically. He's adjusted his swing. I know spring training is spring training, but he's got 3 home runs. He's had 3 home runs this spring. He seemed to have made the necessary adjustments. Luke Raley has hit everywhere he's been in the minors, and they were talking him up this year. He's one of the reasons why they felt comfortable not adding someone. What has he done?
Right.
5 home runs and 34 at-bats.
Yep.
He's showing that power. So I understand what the Rays are doing. I don't have to necessarily think it's the right move, but I understand why they're doing it. And as we've been saying, just because you missed out on somebody during free agency, this team always does their work through trades. And the deadline is not until the actual trade deadline.
Exactly.
And they have time here. This team, to me, I think you would agree, is going to be a good baseball team.
It's going to be a good baseball team, and that's why I haven't crushed them for this strategy.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be in the mix,
right.
And then as we get closer to the deadline, they can evaluate where they were and do something.
That's a smarter way to do it.
Last year, they were so
with limited resources.
Last year, they were so injury-riddled. It was clear they didn't have the horses to do it last year, and they held off at the deadline. And I had no problem with that. This year, let's see where they are if they have some health when we get by the deadline and see what they can add.
Yeah, I mean, listen, shackled by the constraints that the owner puts on the team in terms of budgeting. Certainly he has $500 million in the bank, so he could certainly spend
more money on players and whatever, and I see a lot of you Rays fans are still out there, screaming and yelling about, oh, we signed this guy and this guy to a long term and this guy to a long term. All these deals are incredibly team friendly and still will help him keep a payroll well under $100 million instead of going over it. So, and most of the big money deals, including Tyler Glass now, if he's still around, the Rays ain't paying him $25 million next year. I will bet you. I was going to say my dog, but I'll bet my dog on it, actually, because there's no way, if Stu Sternberg's still the owner, that the Rays are paying him $25 million. Not happening. So don't be fooled that all of a sudden the Rays are spending money. They're not. Their payroll is still what? As they go into opening day, it's below $80 million, right?
But they are spending. They're giving out. They're investing in the future with the players they believe are the now.
Yeah, but again, although the deal, the $40 million to Zach Eflin ain't putting you over $100 million in payroll. He's still a very affordable.
I'd love to see, but to your point
starting pitcher.
To your point about the other deals they handed out to Glasnow and the deal they handed out to Jeffrey Springs, and I'm sure there'll be other ones. I can't.
The Springs deal is minuscule. Continue. These are small deals.
Jeffrey Springs got a good deal for 1 year of productivity.
Okay.
He got a really good deal for himself.
But these are not big boy Major League Baseball contracts.
But
We're
what's
still
wrong
playing
with that?
Rays ball.
Hold up, though.
No, there's nothing wrong.
Did you see the money that was handed out this free agency?
I get it. But a lot of it's stupid. I get it. But you do have to get close. Like, we're still at the very, very bottom. At the very, very bottom, bottom 5 in payroll. Okay, we're still down there with the scrubs.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying when I look at the deals this is why it's hard for me to really rip them for not going after. Like some of the names that I kept saying, okay, I want you to go after this guy. Like I mentioned Cody Bellinger as a good bounce back candidate, but for $17 million? No, I'll let that be the Cubs' problem.
Right, exactly.
And like Brandon Nimmo would have been a nice piece, but Steve Cohen went and paid him $25 million per. He ain't a $25 million per player.
No.
But to the Mets, it's pennies.
And that's part of the problem because these big salary teams are going to continue to do this.
It's why I didn't blame. It's like when I see these deals, then I go, what are the Rays? Honestly, they're not going to spend that foolishly on things.
It's worse than I thought. Oh my God!
What?
Our active payroll is $61 million.
Well, define active payroll. Does that take out
projected total payroll is 69? Gronk, 69. We're not even up to $70 million. Wow. What a joke. I thought we were at least close to 80, which we were last year.
But some of these deals they've signed.
We're spending money.
But
you got a $69 million payroll.
But the deals they've signed, next year they go over.
What's
next
that?
year their payroll goes up more.
Okay.
Because of the deals they made.
Okay.
That kick in next year.
Yeah, when they trade the people that are making lots of money. You guys keep getting suckered in. Oh, look at all the money they're spending. Their payroll is $69 million.
I'm not going to think like that.
69.
I'm not going to think negative like that. I'm going to think positive.
It's not negative or positive. It is what it is.
I don't know if they're going to trade these guys.
Yes, you do. You look at the.
I'm kind of waiting to see after this year what the next McClanahan contract looks like. I'm curious to see.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the tape.
It's nonsense to compare them to those 10 teams right there.
I'm looking at the total payrolls of the other teams.
It's nonsense to compare them to those
299,
teams.
Yankees 267, Padres 26th largest market. Oh, we're a small market team. Yeah.
Yeah. How many of those teams are winning World Series? How many of those teams are winning World Series?
Closer than the Rays. The Phillies 223. Dodgers 179. Wow, they're.
Do you hear the team? Do you hear the markets and the teams you're talking about?
Toronto 201. Yeah, San Diego 26th largest market.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Toronto.
With the other ones.
L.A. 194. Braves 159. So almost $100 million more for a similar sized market in the South. Why? Because they have a new stadium.
Atlanta is not a similar market to Tampa.
Yeah, it is.
Atlanta is like the biggest city in the South.
It's the eighth largest market, I believe. And we're 11.
From a media standpoint,
From a media standpoint, yeah.
I just meant sheer size, importance, all those things. Atlanta is bigger than Tampa by a good margin.
Oh, but in terms of media, you go by media market because that's, most of your money comes from regional television deals, so it's local.
So you go.
Go to the bottom of the list and compare them to the teams they're around.
Rangers 181, Astros 178, Giants 154, White Sox 167, Cubs 143, Boston Red Sox 141, the Rockies, Colorado, Denver 146. Why are they below? Anyway, the league average. The league average is 146 million. The league average, 146 million payroll. The Rays are at 69.
And who are they around?
The Rays are fourth to last. The A's are at 42. The Orioles are at 45. The Pirates are at 59, and the Rays are at 61, which is their active payroll.
Look at what the Rays and the Guardians do being down there.
The Reds' active payroll is 20 million, but their total payroll, they must have a lot of dead money. 70 million, yeah. Yeah, so the Rays are at 63 total projected payroll. 63, it's not even up to 69. Look at that, 63 million.
And yet I take them over half the teams ranked in the top 10.
Just in terms of on the field? Well,
on the field product.
Well, I wouldn't. Which, maybe the Rangers. Okay, better than the Rangers.
I think they're better than the Rangers.
Better than the Mets?
No. I think they're better than the Angels.
Think they're better than the Yankees?
I know they can compete with the Yankees. I don't care what the Yankees do. I've seen the Rays go head-to-head with the Yankees.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm tired of hearing about how great of a ball club Toronto is. I'm tired of hearing about it. Do something.
Do something.
I don't care what Toronto has and all these embarrassment of riches. I just don't care. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be that big of a player this year. I think the Rays fit from an on-field standpoint. They're still in the ballpark of those clubs that spend $200 million. But that makes me up. But here's the flip side of that. If the Rays spent $40 million more on their payroll, think about where they'd really be. I don't need them to spend that money.
That's two left-handed hitters.
I don't need them to spend that. I don't even need them to spend the league average.
That's two bona fide left-handed hitters, or a lefty and a right, a bona fide DH that's making $15-20 million.
Yeah.
Just to get to $100 million.
Yeah, I don't even need
you. Could add two bona fide offensive players and a
you put that number with the league averages.
Pitcher or a really good.
Yeah, that whole
reliever.
League average thing. I don't even need you there.
No,
I really don't.
No,
I put me as the what was the Diamondbacks? Diamondbacks were like 21. Put me right there.
If remember, Stu doesn't pay for jack. He doesn't pay for the stadium. His rent. He's rent free at the stadium. He did not pay. His payroll costs are $69 million. And the revenues are over $300 million, probably close to $350 million now with the increased TV deal. I mean, how much money is this dude making on a yearly basis? Are you? No. And that's just. I'm not even talking to plus he pays himself like $4, $5, $6 million to be the we don't know what the number is because he won't even tell the partners in the lawsuit. I mean, so it's in the millions. The partners say it's in the millions of dollars. Stu makes. He makes triple what anybody. He makes more money maybe than any owner in baseball. You could say.
Regardless of all that,
it's unbelievable the profit margin, and he still can't pay for a stadium. He still can't pay for players. He still can't do any. It's just.
Regardless of all that, though, we have to put it aside. We're 2 days till opening day. We got to talk about the team that you have, which is still a really good competitive team. So let's talk about that team. We can't worry. We can't worry about what the other stuff.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. I'll stop bitching about it. What are we, 2 days out from?
Yeah, we're 2 days out. It'll kill.
After today's show, unless there's something that's pertinent to.
Let's make a rule right now.
All
okay,
right.
I'll make a rule. Okay, and let's see how far you can get with this one. Stu's name shall not be said on this show.
No, that's not my gig. People tune in because they know we're going to be the only show that's real about what the Rays are really doing.
I'm going to give you circumstances to when you can say his name.
Okay.
Okay. When he's actually in the news for something, when he says something, or if the Rays are like 30 and 45 or something by the time June comes around and you want to bitch about the fact that they have no hitting.
Okay.
If any of that stuff happens, if their offense is in the bottom half of the league this year with no improvement, Josh Lowe still stinks, all those other things, then you can go on your diatribe about Stu.
Okay.
But until then,
this is the team we got.
It's the team we got.
Yep.
I'm excited. Let's let it play out.
I'll try to be excited, yeah.
Let's let it play out.
Yeah. Let's go. Here come the Tigers.
I mean, something has to tell you. Put on Rays hats a lot when you come to these shows.
I love the team. I love the team.
Something in you says I'm going to put that hat on and wear it with pride.
And I'm going to watch the games and I'm going to love it and I'm going to Just don't interview Stu during the game. I don't want to see that. Let's keep it to baseball. Let's go. I'm excited about the team. I love the Rays. I'm passionate about the Rays. Love baseball. Love our team. That's why I'm so passionate about getting it right. Let's get it right. Let's get the stadium right. Let's get everything right. We could be in that stadium this year easily. The brand new stadium in Ybor City, if he would have paid half, that deal would have got done as loosely, connected as the Hillsborough the plan was. They would have pulled it together. The Rays paid half. Just like in Atlanta, once you get the damn thing built, the money's going to come rolling in gobs and gobs and gobs, especially in Tampa. And we would have been moved on, but we're still here 4 years, 5 years later, still bitching about the same stuff.
Let's worry about it later.
Because of him.
Well, let's worry about it later, though.
But
because this is a boom. We're still in a boom period for the Rays.
As much as Stu
might hate me,
we're still in a
boom period.
I am probably the number one. Okay, maybe not number one, because there's a lot of crazy people out there that don't care about all this other stuff. But I support the team as much as any broadcaster in town. I love the team. I love Kevin Cash. I love the guys. I love baseball. But you rob me of it because you want to make it, a line on your Goldman Sachs portfolio, and that sucks to me. All right, we'll take a break. And there's a lot of fans out there that agree with me. I know that. I hear from you all the time. So I will be your voice. I will be your champion. But I'll try to, keep it a little bit under wraps. Just for my friend here. He's right. I know a lot of you other people don't like me bitching about it all the time anyway. But so I try to strike a balance. All right, we'll be back. Brian Bradley's going to join us at 11:15, talk some Lightning. Rich Hollenberg at 11:30 to talk Rays, baseball, and NCAA hoops, which, of course, he calls. So lots more coming. Todd Bowles is speaking right now. When we come back, we'll have some highlights of that. Stay with us. Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone
therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by. Never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We appreciate you joining us here. We got Brian Bradley coming up at 11:15 here in just a little bit, and Rich Hollenberg at 11:30. Our thanks to Italiano Insurance. Great place to get your insurance checkup right now. Remember, if you don't have business insurance, if you started a side hustle, even if you're not making a ton of money on it, if you're doing business, you can be sued, obviously. And if you're sued and something happens and you don't have insurance, business insurance, you could be liable for your personal wealth. So you don't want that to happen. So get business insurance, and for a low, for a side hustle, it's not a whole lot of money. So just make sure you're protected. It's worth it. And you can call them at 877-7799 at 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance, tell them JP sent you. All right, Todd Bowles is speaking in Arizona at the league meetings. Greg Auman, our good friend, has a couple of quotes here. As he's not doing a show, he's listening to Todd Bowles. He said, "We're not looking for a guy to come in and be Superman at quarterback. Just take advantage of the talent around him on offense." Another quote, "We're shedding a lot of money," Todd Bowles says when asked about any chance of pursuing Lamar Jackson, saying they couldn't afford to make a competitive offer but think he's a great player. Of course, we knew that. Asked about Bucks at number 19 pick, Todd Bowles says it'd just be the best player on the board unless you're telling me Lawrence Taylor is coming out of retirement. Todd Bowles on the comedy tour.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's just, which I like. It seems like Todd is much more comfortable in his own skin because he's a funny, kind of joking guy. He's got a little bit of a boyish feel to him when he really kind of lets his hair down, so to speak, and
well,
I like it.
It sounds like, remember last year we
it.
learned he loves to sing his soul music.
Yeah.
Out and about.
And he celebrates with milk and cookies after a big. I love that. I could just see him coming home like, hey, honey, we won today. Give me some of that milk and cookies. I'm not. that was literal. It wasn't anything else. Oh, you crazy people. Yeah, he's such a likable guy, man. He's such a likable guy. I love Todd Bowles. I'm doing my job here and objectively looking at the way that he's coached. It hasn't been impressive, and I'm hoping and I'm pulling for the dude like nobody's business that he can turn that around this year. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for him to do so. So much of what is on the table here is about pulling it together, creating a culture, a different culture post Tom Brady, and getting guys to buy in and go out there and play harder than they played last year, and be something. He's got a great opportunity. There's talent here. If the injuries go their way and they hit in the draft, now you, as a head coach, let's pull it together. Let's get some good schemes going defensively, taking advantage of your players. Let's get Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask doing what they do best and taking advantage of a varied offense, moving around, quarterback movement, run pass options. These are all different things that you could see this year from the Buccaneers, and I think there's
there's a scenario that they can be a pretty damn good football team, but a lot of it's going to be on coaching and game planning.
And let me give you this quote. This is the most recent one that Greg put up here because it just reminds me of the conversation we had last Friday. He says, I feel energized because it's the unknown. He says of coaching the Bucs after Tom Brady.
There you go.
He said the cupboard isn't bare compared to challenge to Lakers winning while LeBron James is sidelined. And I feel like that's almost kind of what you were getting at last Friday when you were saying you were energized and you were looking forward to this other side. Now, we completely disagree on that, but I found that comment similar to what you had said.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and for the players, I think about from the players' standpoint, I think the players want to go prove that they can be better without Tom Brady. I really do. I think that's a rallying call. Now, Todd's not going to say it that way. He's not going to say it that way because that could be construed as a thinly veiled shot against Tom Brady, and it's not. And I'm not taking shots at Brady. I'm just stating the obvious. Brady wasn't good last year. There was a lot of drama around him, and if I'm on the team and getting asked about Tom Brady 500 times a day, even when it's Tom Brady, it's enough is enough. Yeah, he was great, fantastic, the best to ever play. Right now, he's getting rid of the ball too quick, to be quite honest. But nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say that. So, I think I think there's something to that. There's no question. Any other quotes jump out at you?
He talked a little bit about Trask, and he says, he kept it pretty short and sweet. He understands that he has a chance to start, talking about Kyle Trask, which if you listen to the full quote that he had the other day about Baker Mayfield, and then he kind of just threw Trask in there at the end. It's almost like there was something in his head telling him, I better mention Trask here real quick at the end because it sounds like I'm anointing Baker the guy. I think we both would agree, and we said it yesterday, the chances of Kyle Trask starting next year, I'm putting it at 10% tops right now.
This quote says it gives us competition. Baker Mayfield gives us competition, gives us another warrior. Says he's a proven option to compete with Kyle Trask, trying to limit how much the drop-off is after Tom Brady. I think you'll find it won't be that much after last year's Tom Brady.
Hog.
The offense, I'll bet you right now they score more than 18 points a game. What do you want to wager?
I think they're going to score more than 18 points per game.
Then that's better than Tom Brady. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care what his name is. I care about points on the board. I'm about points.
I don't look at it as a Tom Brady. I don't look at it as a Tom Brady versus Baker Mayfield thing.
I'm about points. I'm all about points, guys. I'm all about points. Okay, well, you're at 18.
What's the objective of football? Tell me. Let me know.
I don't care how we score them. I'm about points. But you're not scoring any points.
Okay, but what about your EPA on this drive and on this situation? What about your EPA?
What? My what? Isn't that an agency in D.C.?
It's fantasy football. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's fantasy football,
football, bro.
That's fantasy football. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Brian Bradley about this Bolt slump. Do they get out of it tonight in the House of Horrors up in Carolina? That's a tough ask. We shall hear what Brian Bradley has to say when we come back. Stay with us. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation. Home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto? We always say keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the big show. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you have any legal issues, just call the good folks over there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous attorney. He will take care of you, give you great personal service. They'll answer the phone. They'll call you back. You get some of these bigger firms, you're just a number to them. Don't go that way. Keep it local. Jeeves Law Group. They know the folks around here. They know who they're dealing with. That's a much bigger advantage. So JEEVES lawgroup.com is where you need to go. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Brian Bradley, the Lightning's first All-Star and leading scorer for those first few years, and all-around great dude. What's up, my friend? How are you?
What's up, JP Peterson? How are you guys doing today?
Hey, guess what? I played golf with Goose Gossage yesterday, and it was fun.
Really?
Yeah, the Goose can bring it, man. He can hit it a long way. Oh,
really?
It was fun. Yeah, not
Did
as long
he
as you.
throw that? Did he throw the underhand slider or whatever it was? That goose, the Goose Gossage.
He stared at me one time, and he gave me that glare that, he still has the Fu Manchu, He gave me that glare.
He still got the Fu Manchu?
As I was standing over an 8-footer, for our team, and he said, "You motherfucker, you better make this putt, or I'm going to throw this golf ball
Did you make
right at
it,
your
though?
head." Of course I made it. What kind of question is that, Brad?
Yeah.
Come on, coach.
Wow, that's a bad.
If I missed it, you think I would tell you that? No, it's my show. I can say whatever the hell I want.
Exactly.
I know you played golf last week in a big tournament. How was that? That sounded fun.
Yeah, we played up in Kiowa. It was a big, huge tournament. It was a member guest with with there's four of us. A good buddy, Richie Ennis, and his brother Steve played. We played with Jimmy Jones, a pro here in Tampa. He came third
Jimmy.
place out of 65 teams. He played
Nice.
excellent. So we were, I hit the ball really good too. We started the day as 65 teams. We started in 14th position after day one, second position after day two, and we ended up in 6th.
Nice. How was that ocean course? Was the wind blowing?
Oh, the wind was blowing. It's super hard golf course.
Oh, isn't it?
At that point. So really hard.
But
really
still
hard.
Fun though, isn't it? What a
it's a great golf course. Like, I mean, you got to hit it really good, and if the wind's blowing, which it was over 20 miles an hour, it's just sometimes the ball can't even sit on the green because it's just moving so much.
Yeah. What a setting though. When the Ryder Cup was played there a few years ago, I got a chance to play there about 5 years in a row. We went up there, and it was just so much fun. I loved it. The resort itself is just amazing. So I know that was fun. All right, let's get to some hockey.
Yeah.
I know. I watched the entire game on Saturday, and I was relatively enthused about the way the Lightning played. I thought they played hard. Obviously, they brought the Thunder early on with Patty Maroon. They lose 2-1 to Boston in their own house, but I was a little bit encouraged by the effort and the way they played. What'd you think?
You know what, JP? I the same way. I was at the game live.
Oh, okay.
So I was in Boston to watch the game. I mean, you know what? Obviously, they'd lost 3 in a row. They lost to New Jersey at home. Then they went to Montreal. I think lost 3-2 or something. And they lost to just a bad game against Ottawa, 7-2. And then I was at the game. We were up there with sponsors. People. With some of our big sponsors that were up there. We had a good time with Bally and Tico and Advent Health and
nice.
But you know what? We weren't sure what to expect. I mean, we saw the guys before they left for the rink because we got in there, on Friday and they played Saturday afternoon. And you know what? We saw the guys. They looked focused and saw 4 or 5 or 6 of them going to the rink or more. Getting the bus. But you know what? They right out of the gate. The fight started with Maroon and. I can't think of the guy's name right now, number 21, Hathaway.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It got the guys going. And, I thought we played a really pretty good game. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really see much of the Ottawa game and the Montreal where we lost.
Yeah.
And I wasn't at the New Jersey game, but I actually thought we played really good. We took a lot of penalties in the first period. I think the first 10 minutes we were shorthanded 10 of the first 14 minutes. Maroon got an extra aggressor, and then, we had a double minor and stuff like that. When you're giving Boston, an opportunity, and we actually came out of that actually pretty good.
Yeah, PK was good.
Victor Hedman scores a goal to make it 1-1 shorthanded. And, we got out of a period after being, shorthanded for 10 minutes of the period in a 1-1 game in Boston. It was a wild crowd in Boston too. So they were pumped up. They want to kick our ass. Trust me on that one. So, but then we came back in the second. I thought we played pretty good in the second and third, but we had an opportunity, and we had a 5-on-3 in the second period, I think, for, about a minute 10. Yeah. And we didn't even get a shot on goal, and that changed the game.
That's awful.
That literally changed the game. That was just crushing for our team. You have 5 guys against 3, a 5-on-3. You have to score.
Yeah.
And it just has to be a goal.
You can't even get a shot on goal. I mean, come on, you got to.
Yeah, we didn't even get one shot. Not
you're
one
not
shot
shooting the
on
puck.
goal.
You're waiting for the perfect shot.
Yeah.
And you can't do
and
that.
And yeah, I agree. JP, it killed the mojo of the game. I mean, after that, we had a couple chances late in the game with Kucherov. Someone else I think Klorin had one in front, or Corey Perry, but it just wasn't enough. We score that goal to go up 2-1. I really think we win that game. I mean, it changes the game. Hathaway scores a goal. That Bazzi, there's a rebound in front, and he bangs it in midair to make it 2-1. But you can't really fault Bazzi on that goal. The first couple, 2-1 game. But, you know what? You got to score in your power plays. Your specialty teams need to be good coming in the playoffs. And, we have a chance to stick it to Boston, right in Boston, to go up 2-1. And we don't do it, and then they end up winning the game 2-1. But, it was a better effort. Let's look at the game. Even though we lost, the effort was good. But tough game tonight. We're going to Carolina, and Carolina, they got 103 points with 47 wins. They got a good team. Obviously they're missing a couple of players off their roster and stuff like that. But Carolina is a very, very good team. You know, they got Seshnikov's out. You know, and then they got the guy from Las Vegas. He hasn't played many games this year, but you know, they still got Aho. You know, they still got Cash and a few other guys. But I mean, we need to get it going now. I mean, what do we got? How many games do we got left? 10 games or something? 10 games?
Yeah.
9 games left.
I mean, yeah, I'd probably say the last time they were in Raleigh, I think I said that was the worst game of the John Cooper era, perhaps. I mean, that was the game where they had like one shot in like the second period or whatever it was. But
nothing. Wasn't the game 6-0 final?
Yeah, it was 6-0 final.
No shots in the second period. Like third period, couldn't even get the puck.
I'll ask you though about like Carolina, because at least the last time I was on, you were talking about Carolina, and I think this was before that game, and you said you think they are going to be the toughest out in the East this year. And I'm just wondering, because you already mentioned it, no Svechnikov and obviously Pacioretty out as well.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that Carolina has it in them to be the team to beat in the East this year?
No, I don't. I think no. I did if they're healthy. I mean, you can't lose a guy like Svechnikov. Right. I mean, he's too valuable. I mean, you know, and then, you know, like I said, you know, when they had Svechnikov back in play, you know what, I really thought the Hurricanes were the team to beat in the East. But, I mean, to lose a guy like that, you know, he's got 23 goals, you know, and then, you know what, you know, Pacioretty, too, has only played 5 games. He had 3 goals. I mean, you talk about having 2 of those guys back in the lineup. They're the team to beat in the East, but they're not. Even with Svechnikov, I still think they have a chance to be the top team in the East. I know Boston, everybody says Boston, and trust me, they look good. I mean, you know, and the thing about it is Boston, their goalie almost played exceptionally well. So, I mean, you know, in Carolina, they got a good defense. They've got a good goalie, Freddie Anderson. But I still think Boston probably is the team to beat because the injuries to Svechnikov. I mean, it's too big a blow. It'd be like taking Point Kucherov or Stamkos out of our lineup. You just can't replace those guys.
Yeah. You know, and you're around the team a little bit. I was just watching some of the interviews the other day. And I was listening to Stamkos and just looking at him. His eyes were like so dark and sunk in. He just looked exhausted. I mean, just physically and mentally exhausted. And I know we keep talking about this, and it's kind of a, you know, it can be an excuse. I get it, but it's just 19 games in 33 days. This team just looks like they're trying to like get up the mountain, you know, and they just can't. They just don't have the energy to do it. Can they find that as the playoffs begin? They might get a little break between the end of the season and the playoffs, maybe 3-4 days. Can they find that energy, that mental ability after playing what essentially is 4 seasons in 3 years, playing deep into June when everybody else is done at the end of April or middle of April? I mean, it's a lot to ask. What do you see in terms of that from this team?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, you know what? The way I look at it right now, I mean, you know what? We are tired. I mean, 19 games in 33 or 2 days or whatever is a ton of games. And it's not only that, it's the travel. I mean, they're all over. They went all the way up to – they went to Montreal. Then they got to go back up to Ottawa, I think, or something like that in New York. And the Islanders coming up after this. It's just, you know, up to Montreal, then to Ottawa. Then they go to Boston and back down and go back to Carolina. And then they got Washington at home. Then they play the Islanders at home. It's not going to be easy either. But, I mean, they definitely are tired. But, you know, here's the good thing. If I can take anything good out of this, because we're started to play good against Boston. It'll be interesting to see tonight how we play against Carolina. But if I'm looking at the big picture right now, and I'm the coach, and I don't know what John Cooper's going to do, we're in third place. We're not going out of third place.
Right.
Okay. I would start resting guys in the next week, because we're not going to catch Toronto. They're 7 points up on us. There is no one can catch us from behind. Right. No team. 79 is the next team behind us. We're at 90, which is 11 points. So that's not going to happen. So I would start looking at my veteran guys like Hedman, you know, Vazzy, maybe a few games here. Hedman maybe sits out 2-3 games, takes a week off.
Yeah.
Who cares if he misses 2 games? Cooch, Point. We know we're playing Toronto in the first round. We know we're going to Toronto in the first round. We did it last year. I would start resting some of my star players and maybe bringing some kids up and playing some games. You know what? So we don't win. it doesn't matter because you only want to care about the playoffs right now. Right. But you got to have your core guys ready to go. Right. I mean, you can sit there and they can say, well, they have to be ready to go. Well, if they're exhausted and can't play, they're not going to be ready to go. So I think some of these guys need 4 or 5 days, 6 days off. Maybe miss 2 games. Hey, you're going to play Saturday night. You're not playing until next Saturday. Right. And, come to the rink, get a massage, do your stuff. But we're going to play the young kids. We're bringing a couple and sit 2 guys out each game. Let them rest up. Yeah. Take Pointer out. Take Kucherov out. Yeah, fans might be mad, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters right now is that first round against Toronto. Because guess what? If you win the first round, we play Boston. And that is going to be a battle royal. And you're going to need everybody ready to rock and roll in that series.
Well, so, you're assuming Boston's going to win their series. I don't know.
Yeah, Boston will win their series. But like I said, they don't want to play us, with Vazzy and that. No. But we have to be more rested. I just don't think we're not rested enough right now. We look tired. I mean, we'll see what happens. We come back home. We're home. We play Washington, kind of tough game, and then Islanders are going to be tough game Saturday. Yeah. And I think we go back on the road again, something like next week or whatever. But yeah, it's a grind schedule. But like I said, we can't go up and down anymore. There's really when you look at the picture right now, we got 90 points. If we end with 95 or 6 or 7, and we're in the playoffs, we're still not going to get caught. We're in third place. We've been in third place for the last 15, 20 games. We're going to stay in third place.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
I agree with you. Go rest them. All right, Brad, it's good stuff, my man. We will we'll catch up with you later in the week after this next game, and we'll talk a little bit more hockey. Go work on your golf game.
Yeah, maybe we'll do the morning skate against Washington.
Let's do that
Thursday.
That sounds fun.
Do it.
Let's do it, brother.
Over and out. See you tonight, JP.
Right,
see you Thursday.
Thursday night. We'll be there. Although we'll not be doing my usual business. We'll be doing the postgame show. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Rich Hollenberg is going to join us, and we're going to talk some Rays baseball as opening day is coming up on Thursday. Will Wander Franco be ready to go? He's been sitting out some games. We'll chat about it next. Stay with us. Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by. Never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community. Backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation. Home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk some baseball with our good friend Rich Hollenberg, Bally Sports Sun, Rays broadcaster, and also NCAA basketball broadcaster as well. How you doing, partner?
Excellent, JP. It's almost happy opening day. Can't wait.
Almost happy opening day. I cannot wait as well. Excited to see this team and what it brings. Before we get to baseball, just do a little quick thing, because you call all these games, these college basketball games. I'm sure you've called tons of Miami and FAU and San Diego State. You probably had 10 of those games, or maybe none. I mean,
maybe not.
Is this a great thing for college basketball, or is this just like the worst Final Four ever?
It's funny you ask that, because being media wonks like we are, I think that was the first thought that came to my head. I wonder what the TV ratings are going to be come Saturday and Monday night. I'm not sure. I don't know what the answer to that is, but I do know that we should all, as college hoops fans, be expecting more of this in the future. I think everybody who was crying from the rooftops saying, oh my gosh, death of mid-major college basketball because of NIL and because of transfer portal and yada, yada, yada. I think it is the farthest thing from the truth. I think the playing field has been leveled like never before. We saw another 1 seed go down to a 16. I think we're going to see more of that. It's a matter of time before we see a 16 seed reach the Sweet 16. We saw a 15 seed do it this year in Princeton. And even though I haven't called any of these 4 teams, I've done a bunch of Miami games in the past. I know Coach Larinaga really well. I know Dan Hurley really well in that UConn program. And I've actually gotten to know Dusty May from FAU a lot, because he was a former Florida assistant for Mike White when Mike White was the head coach at Gainesville. So I'm really psyched for him. He is the most humble, really, really good coach that nobody knows about until now. And I'm sure a lot of high major schools are lining up to interview as soon as the Owl season is done.
Yeah, and I don't think USF is on his list.
No,
that's to be a lateral move, right? Somebody asked me to ask you about USF. That's a lateral move for him, even though the gym's a lot bigger at USF.
Well, listen, the last time I did a radio interview, I got ambushed with, so what do you think about Mike Bray getting the USF job? And I was like, what?
What?
And apparently that is not the case.
No, evidently they don't like to hire big name coaches, whether it be Dion or Mike Bray or anything. They're more in the, we're not. I don't think we can get into those tax brackets just yet. So we'll see what happens with that job. But Dusty May, I was wondering if he might go to Florida State if Leonard is thinking about retiring. But Coach Z says no, he's not thinking about retiring at all. So that's not an open. There's really no great openings for Dusty right now. I mean, right? What's out there that would really be great for him?
Well, I think once the season is officially over, like after next Monday night, you'll hear of a lot more things happening. And I just think what we're seeing in college basketball is it's not a stark changing of the job of the guard, JP, but I think it's a gradual and progressive. I mean, obviously Jim Boeheim is the latest one. We had Coach K and Roy Williams. Leonard is soon to retire, but he's the youngest 74-year-old I've ever met in my life.
Right?
So, he still has something to prove, and there are egos involved too. I'm sure Leonard doesn't want to leave the program in the shape that it's in right now. So he'll get it rolling again in Tallahassee. And I'm sure in the next 2, 3, 4 years, they'll be looking for someone to take the mantle from him.
It's the Emmy Award-winning Rich Hollenberg joining us here. Well done. Congratulations on the pregame show. So let's talk a little baseball. And Wander, it appears, will be ready to go on Thursday. He's been dealing with a little bit of a quad strain, which is not, you don't like to see that heading into the especially, playing on that turf, which evidently bothers him, whatever it is. But hopefully he'll be ready to go.
Well, keep in mind, Wander just got done with the World Baseball Classic as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think, the Rays always practice an abundance of caution.
Yeah.
And it is much more less of a quad injury, and I'm using air quotes for those of us watching on streaming. It is much less of a quad injury than just something they are mindful of given what they had to deal with last year. Wander is fine. He's young. All indications, visibly and otherwise, are that he is in fantastic shape heading into the season, better than he was last year. I think he learned a little bit about that, how to take better care of himself in the offseason after his first full year in the bigs. So I expect, nothing but excellence right out of the gates from Wander Franco.
You mentioned real quick there about the World Baseball Classic, which I think you would probably agree was just as fantastic as anything we've seen with baseball. And it was a star-making performance specifically for Randy Arozarena, who he gets up for these big moments. And I don't know what it is. And, we've been talking a lot about, how does Major League Baseball capitalize on that popularity, right? And maybe even the Rays on like this whole thing with Randy Arozarena. But just specifically to what he did there, and trying to translate that to the Rays, because he's been a really good player, but I think we would all argue maybe not as consistent as we would like. I know he's made some adjustments to, I guess, his studying. So just speak to what you expect out of Randy Arozarena this year.
Well, Nick, I mean, first, I never take issue with anything that Nick Getty says, but I would take issue with the fact that it was a star-making performance. I mean, we had October Randy. We
on
had
a worldwide stage. On a worldwide stage.
Certainly. I will give you that. I think what we saw, what Rays fans saw in the World Baseball Classic from Randy Arozarena was not a surprise. But to your point, to a lot of people not familiar with Rays baseball, they're like, who is this dude? And where do I get more of him? I think we're going to see a lot more of that from the beginning of the season on. Randy, like a lot of guys, could be a little bit of a slow starter. And you alluded to it. I'll be even more blunt. Randy is taking his job more seriously. Just the fact that he even honestly said, how did you improve or change in the offseason? He's like, well, I'm looking at video now and I'm paying attention to scouting reports now. Like, what? You never did that before and you were still this good? I hate you.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, he is that elite of an athlete and that elite of a talent in baseball that now I can't wait to see what we get from Randy Arozarena from March 30th all the way through October, not just October Randy or playoff Randy anymore. We could see an all-star Randy this year if, his play with, in the World Baseball Classic was any indication. And I think it also is significant of something a little bit bigger in picture for the Tampa Bay Rays. You lose a Kevin Kiermaier. You let him leave, essentially.
Right.
And a lot of fans, casual fans, might be like, oh, no, we lost Kevin Kiermaier. Yeah, it's sad. He was one of, if not the face of the franchise for a long time and lent to what we always considered one of, if not the most athletic outfields in the American League. They are as, if not more athletic going into this season than they were last season. And that's no disrespect to KK, but Arozarena is a huge part of that. They have Josh Lowe on the opening day roster again. We're hoping and expecting for better things than we saw last year. And he is an elite level athlete. So I think going in, all signs are pointing up for this team, this outfield, and up and down the roster.
Rich Hollenberg joining us here, Bally Sports Sun. The Times came out with a great piece on its 25th anniversary, the top 25 moments. A lot of broadcasters weighing in. So let's get it from you. I hate doing the top moment because it excludes other ones. So I kind of, do you have a top 3, top 5 in Rays history and maybe a personal story to go along with one of them or two of them?
Yeah. I mean, I have too many to recount,
right.
Even though you let me bloviate as long as I want to, usually.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Number one, clearly it would be the Brett Phillips walk-off in the World Series. And not only that, just how bizarre it was. Listen, I would love to say being in the stadium and watching that happen was I wasn't. I was in a studio watching it happen because it was a COVID year. Yep. So instead of thinking about that negatively and regretfully, I think what a moment in history that hopefully, pray to God, we never have to repeat again.
Right.
What a moment in history that was for not only baseball and the Rays, but for all of us as a society in the United States. Yeah. The surreal nature of that, a relatively empty stadium when it happened and in a neutral site, not just at somebody's home ballpark. But that certainly rings true. And the emotion and the reaction and everything about that. The situation.
I mean, a dominant pitch. I'm trying to remember who it was off, but it was like a dominant pitcher. And Brett Phillips hadn't had a hit in a while. And it wasn't exactly the offensive juggernaut that you would, think it. But in that situation, for him to come through, hometown kid, the whole. I mean, my goodness. I mean,
It was
the story.
Yeah, it was remarkable. And really, if we're being honest, and Brett would probably be honest if he was on with us right now, that bought him an extra year with the team, essentially. So love Brett Phillips. Hope he has a great season with the Angels. Can't wait for him to come back and play inside the Trop. It'll be terrific. So that would be number one for me. Number two, and I'll go back all the way to opening day 1998. I mean, I was here on opening day, and I was not working for the team. I was working in town as a sportscaster, but I remember going to that game on opening day and sitting out in right field, buying tickets, sitting there with a couple of friends, just doing the baseball thing, and not really at that time realizing how significant that was for the area, for the geographic area. I grew up in New Jersey. I was a Yankees fan growing up. This was old hat to me. Opening day, yeah, it's fun, it's special, but it wasn't monumental like it was back in 1998 for the Tampa Bay area geographically. And now we're 25 years later, 25 years down the road, and this is a generational sport for us now. And I've been saying that all along since we were talking about the 20th anniversary of this organization, JP. You got to wait to judge the fan base for a generation. 20 years usually, qualifies as a generation. But now we're 25 years in. Think about this. If a 7-year-old was at that game with his dad, that 7-year-old is now 32 years old. Ostensibly, he's working, might have a wife and a family, and now he's bringing his kids to Tropicana Field to be a Rays fan. So now these Rays fans going to opening day on Thursday, this is all they're going to know. Not like me, who came from out of town, and we still have a lot of those people too. Transients are going to be here forever. But now we are a generational baseball organization. And so that first game, even retrospectively more than when I was in that moment, stands out as the other moment that I certainly will never forget. I still have my seat cushion, and I still have my commemorative ticket from that day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you think about it, like how many opening days have you gone to for a franchise?
Right.
There's not many. I mean, there are Lightning fans that did it in Expo Hall. I wasn't here then. And then, of course, the Bucks from many, many, many years, 1976 you go back to, but there are not many of them. And but it's fun. And you guys at Bally's are going to do this all year long, right? You've got 25 years anniversary things going on. So give us a little behind the scenes on what we're going to see on opening day.
We have so much in the works, and it is so much fun just to talk about, JP, and just plan ahead. Now, TV, as you well know, is not very good at planning ahead. Things change all the time, and people fall in and fall out of your roster of people who you're going to interview. But you all know James Shields is going to be there on Thursday. He's going to retire as a Ray. He's going to throw out the first pitch. So Jamie will be part of the pregame for sure. We're going to have all hands on deck. Doug and I are obviously in our same spots as we have been. I'm celebrating 10 years now with the Rays, and I love that. I'm super proud of it. And we have new faces on our roster. Matt Joyce is joining the fray. Denard Span is joining the fray. So they'll have a big role in opening day. Ryan Bass and Trisha Whitaker will have interviews galore. It's a 1-hour special. But you asked the question about the 25th anniversary, and the thing I love is that we are going to tie directly in to what the Rays are doing. Every Friday game is going to be like a Devil Rays throwback game. They used to do it on the weekends. Now they're doing it on Fridays. So we're going to play right into that. And I can't wait to see the zany hijinks that we're going to be able to pull off, sometimes under our boss's noses.
Oh, I love that.
Post-game show, because obviously Doug's part of it, right? Doug lived this organization for the first handful of years in his career, and Matt Joyce had a hand in that, and Denard had a hand in that as well. So lots of stories to tell, lots of memories to share. There's nothing better for me than taking those fun trips down memory lane. I can't wait to do it.
And you got Denard and Matt and Doug, who all grew up watching Rays games, and
100%.
not as much Doug, but they grew up watching Ray and dreamed of one day playing for a hometown franchise that wasn't even born yet when they were playing Little League.
That's right.
It's kind of a really, really cool dynamic.
Hey, can you let the decision makers know? By the way, speaking of the Devil Rays, can we just make it all 81 home games? Please do it.
He loves his Devil Rays,
we've been talking about this on this show. Like I bought all this I bought a Fred McGriff T-shirt last week with the Devil Rays on it. I bought the Devil Ray hat. I told them I'm going to opening day. I'm probably going to walk by the Rays Republic team store. I'm going to see a mannequin wearing the jersey that says Devil Rays, and I'm probably going to go over there and spend $200 on it because it's just so freaking beautiful. Can you please pitch on my behalf?
I absolutely will. Nick, you can count on me that I will fight the good fight. The one thing I know is that, fashion goes in trends, right? And just like we were talking about generations, usually it takes 20 years. It hasn't taken that long for people to re-embrace the Devil Rays now that the Rays are a winning franchise.
Right.
Before 2008, you could probably sell those Devil Rays jerseys on eBay for about $1. Now it's a little bit different. Everyone loves getting back on that retro Devil Rays bandwagon. I'm the same with you. I mean, I love that nostalgia feel to it. So I'm really psyched that they're going to embrace that every Friday night at the Trop. And I'm sure there are going to be more Devil Rays jerseys and shirts in the stands this season than there have been in a long time, yourself included.
Oh, I'm wearing my Wade Boggs jersey on opening day.
Boggsy's going into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Later on this season. Zim is on Sunday, and that's fantastic. The Rays brass have made terrific decisions all the way up leading into this. They have really embraced the whole 25th anniversary. And so far from what I've seen, they have not made a misstep. The introduction of a Rays Hall of Fame is going to be amazing. The 3 inaugural members, Zim, Boggs, and Carl Crawford, perfect choices for year one.
Great.
And then it lets you look forward to and talk about who's going to be year 2, who's going to be year 3, and so on and so forth. So it's fun for all.
All right, what time does pregame start on Thursday? What time are you guys getting going? Is this a Super Bowl length pregame show?
Oh, yes. We'll be on at 6 a.m. for starting.
Yes.
Right. We have a 1-hour pregame show. So first pitch is a little after 3 o'clock.
All right.
We will be on at 2 o'clock on Bally Sports Sun. And one other thing that's really cool is we are efforting to do alternate broadcasts as well. I can only say that much, but somewhere down the road, there will be alternate broadcasts as well for all the Rays viewing fans.
So different camera angles, kind of like what
I am not at liberty to say, JP, but you will be the first to know any details that come out.
Oh, then we can just speculate, which is even way more fun.
Right.
All right, Rich. Thanks, man. We appreciate you all the time. We will be tuned in 1 o'clock coming up on Thursday, opening day for the Rays at Bally Sports Sun. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you at the ballpark, guys.
Great. And you can find Rich on Sports on Twitter as well. We got a few minutes. You got a little bowl sound for us?
I do, yes. Which, by the way, real quick, I know somebody who has to get you an opening day. Rich is the perfect guy. So tell me after hearing all that, you're not ready to go.
I want to go.
Yeah, you want to go.
I want to go.
That's exactly.
I do want to go.
You can go hang out in center field and have your little $16 highlight.
I'll
do the whole thing.
I'll sneak in.
Sneak in.
Like I did for opening day. That's a whole nother story.
You got too many stories. We've already exceeded story time for today. So we'll go to the Todd Bowles sound. How about that?
All right.
We have some Todd Bowles comments here. Here, let's do this one. This was
I thought that was Frank Thomas for a minute.
That's Todd Bowles. This one is more of an in-depth answer on Kyle Trask, which we've been kind of waiting to hear.
Okay.
Oh, hold up.
Stand by.
That's me. Let me flip this over.
Otherwise, the people won't. Settings. It's always settings, folks. That's all about settings.
I think Kyle has a lot of moxie that you don't get to see. Those of us who see him every day, Kyle does more.
Still not playing.
Really?
No.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, we made it. An hour and 57 without a.
We tried to go off the board here for a second. Yeah.
We went rogue, so we'll try to fix that audio for tomorrow. How about that?
But basically, he said that there's no question that Todd Bowles has an affinity for Baker Mayfield, but I think I think they have a lot of respect for Kyle Trask and the way he's handled himself and how hard he's worked. So I think and that doesn't it doesn't count for a lot. And you don't get any points for that on the scoreboard, right? You still got to go out there and perform. And I think it's going to be a legitimate competition, but I just think that Baker has such an upper hand. He's just with his experience, the way he's going to know certain nuances of this offense because, it's got that Sean McVay, L.A. Rams roots to it, which he, got a chance to play in out there. So it just everything, if you're looking at, if this was a tennis match and you were checking off the boxes, most of those checks would be in Baker's favor. But, Trask is a bigger guy. I think he's got a bigger arm. He's
I don't know. But I think Baker could throw it. Baker has an underrated arm.
I agree with that. But Kyle's just a different type of guy. So we'll see. And that's the beauty of it. It's good. That's the best part of training camp for me. Is going to be these two guys going at it and seeing who comes out on top. I'm enthused about this team, and I hope the draft kind of comes to them. You never know what's going to happen in the draft. And when I say comes to them, is that certain needs that they have, like all the other teams choosing those other tackles than Tristan Wirfs ahead of them. Tristan Wirfs kind of fell to them. And, he's clearly the best of the bunch. You luck out sometimes. You can do your projections as best you can. Of course, everybody always says, oh, that's the one we wanted anyway. But, if the draft comes to them and they can stay healthy, I think they have a shot to do some good stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, the more they talk about the Tristan Wirfs thing, they haven't decided yet, and they said they'll make that decision after the draft.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, clearly,
if a left tackle falls to you, who you think can start, why would you move Tristan?
That to me is growing more and more, that left tackle at pick 19, if one of these guys falls. It looks like to me that's what they'll be going with.
Yeah, and that's a good decision.
More.
If you can get a top-level tackle.
And keep Tristan right, not mess with it.
I have no problem with that. Anytime you make a move along the offensive or defensive lines in the first round to get a guy he just better be good.
Yeah.
He better not suck.
The elite of the elite tackles, they come in the first round.
Right,
and
exactly.
The Bucs, outside of Tristan Wirfs, hadn't picked one in the first round in a long time.
And when you think you're at 19, and it's probably going to be at least 4 quarterbacks, maybe 5 that go, so that leaves, it's 14 picks, 13 picks, and a lot of edge rushers are going to go, and there's some automatics that are going to be up there. Very well, the second or third best left tackle could fall to you at 19, and that's best player available. And that's what they said. We're going with the best player available, and that's how you should draft, always. All right, our thanks to Brian Bradley, who joined us today, Rich Hollenberg. I'm jacked up about opening day. We'll have lots more coming to you tomorrow. Try to get Scott Reynolds on our Wednesday chats as well. So we appreciate you guys listening today. It's been a fun show, and we will be back at you tomorrow. We'll chat then.